Hey everyone, how's it going? I hope you're doing well. I'm doing well because today we're talking about music. Today we're getting real cozy. We're getting our pumpkin spice lattes. We're getting our boots with the fur. We're, staring out the window. We're going for a walk with the crunchy leaves as they change color. And we're talking about 5 albums for the fall. So I think there's music we all listen to year round. There's artists we check out year round, but when seasons take a turn, when seasons change, there's a specific time of year, and maybe there's an artist we listen to more, maybe there's a genre we listen to more. I know for me, I associate the fall, kind of early fall, certainly with back to school time. And then I know for some people this is the winter, but for me, it's more of a time of introspection where I sort of think about the year that's passed and the things coming up and coming ahead. And I think music I kind of associate more with that, so I kind of draw on some more genres and some more artists more frequently during September, October, November. So we're going to take a look at 5 albums, and we're just going to chat about them and why I kind of associate it with the time of year. So first off, we're going to take a look at more so someone I listen to year round, but Bob Dylan. This is Blood on the Tracks, probably one of my favorite Dylan albums, but there's so many to pick from. Actually, I would even recommend the bootleg series as well. There's a whole bunch of bootleg series from Bob Dylan, and that gives you a great selection of a lot of different Dylan tracks. But again, we're talking about the kind of, that folk vibe that we're going for with Bob Dylan, certainly. And Bob Dylan is an artist with so many eras, so many sounds that you can kind of even you could have one for every month of the fall if you wanted to. I kind of like this period, Blood on the Tracks, as well as some of the earlier, more folk, kind of the pre-electric period as well. But I think Blood on the Tracks in this era right around here really, really does it for me in terms of Bob Dylan. And again, just one of those albums I associate with the fall. Even the colors on here, even the colors, even the artwork. I think this is very fallish as well. Second album, again, an artist I listen to year round, but definitely way more in the fall. And I had a hard time picking one of their albums that I kind of prefer the most for this time of year. And I ended up picking one that it's not even one that I listen to most frequently from them. I would say it's the one I heard from them first. And I'm going with the debut from the Decemberists. This is the a recent vinyl reissue here, so obviously you don't have their name on it or anything, but you do have the track listing, fortunately, on here. Originally, I was going to go with Picaresque because that's my favorite album from them. Then I was thinking of, Fall, and while that is a really good album, and there's a couple good tracks on that that I would associate with this time of year, just looking at the track listing kind of across the board, I was thinking I'd have to go with maybe this one, or their second, Her Majesty's the Decemberists. That would be a great fall choice as well. But on here you have, Leslie Ann Levine, Here I Dreamt I Was an Architect, Cautionary Song, Odalisque, Grace Cathedral Hill, and that's basically the entire track listing. And all of those are great fall songs, even the artwork. Um, what is this style called? Something French, like Louis Flair or something like that. But they have it on all of their albums, that kind of the Victorian style sort of thing, and they really lend themselves well. If you've never heard the Decemberists, they're indie folk band out of Portland. Very much storytelling band. They still do that a little bit. They've sort of changed now over time to sort of cover a lot of a broad selection of topics. Um, but generally speaking, most of their output is sort of very much narrative focused, very sort of turn of the century in terms of stylings and subject matter and writing and how they go about it. And if you want to check them out, their debut is a great place to start. I would say any of their first few albums. So this one, follow up of Her Majesty, Picaresque, which is my favorite. Um, Even Crane Wife or Hazards of Love, those are both really good. Those have a bit even more of like a progressive rock leaning, both in terms of music, they're a little more adventurous. And in terms of, I mean, their Crane Wife is a 12-minute long song, I think. And Hazards of Love is a concept album that's really good with a lot of returning themes and a really great story. So that's my second pick. Third pick, we're going to stay with the indie rock vein. We're going with The Shins, and this is the Shins Shoots Too Narrow. This was their big breakout. There we go. This is the Gatefold edition as well. But I mean, look at those Kissing the Lipless, Young Pilgrims, Pink Bullets, Fighting in the Sack, Turn Square. Fall time classics. Fall time classics. And if you're of a certain age, certainly, going back to school in the fall, this is a band that you've got to love for this time of year. And it's definitely one gonna check in on them now and then throughout the year, but that's definitely a band fall time. I thought also I was talking about Wincing the Night Away. This would be another kind of fall pick from the band I would go with. Australia, Turn Me On, A Comet Appears, Red Rabbits. These are all really good picks. Now we're kind of going with more specific to taste. I think like Bob Dylan, Shins, Decemberists, those aren't unique fall picks. Tons of people are going to pick those. Now we're going for, I'm like, what do I definitely listen to more so in the fall? And I think being from Canada, never grown up in the prairies, but I think you have that feeling of the ways nature changes throughout this kind of massive country, and how that kind of looks and how that's put into music. I thought about Tragically Hip, but if I'm being honest, they're a band I don't really listen to more so in the fall. They're just kind of generally a band that I've got, and even then, they're not one of my most played artists. But then I was singing one band that I don't really listen to outside of the fall is the Guess Who. This is American Woman. Share the Land would also be a great pick. I really like the back photo here. Look at that. Oh, it's such a great back cover. But you just see what you got on here. So you've got the time, or you've got the track American Woman. You have No Time, which is actually a re-recorded version from their album Canned Wheat, which, one second, please. Got here on tape. There's Canned Wheat on tape. So you've got No Time originally on that one, reappearing on here. Talisman, which is a really quiet, nice little song. But the one that does it for me, the one that really checks my boxes, is No Sugar Tonight, New Mother Nature. That's a great track, very folly for me. Again, the Guess Who, or kind of any of that classic Canadian rock, something like April Wine, or if you want to keep going from the Guess Who, go into BTO, something like that. For me, that's I listen to it, throughout the year, but definitely in the fall is when I check it out more. And the final album we're going to talk about, the final genre for me, is jazz in the fall. Jazz is something I don't really listen to that much. I want to. I love a lot of it. It just feels like a difficult genre in a way to get into, where the entry points, and similar to progressive rock or something, there's so many artists that are under that umbrella that can sound totally different. Even under fusion, which for me, I'm like, I should check out fusion. That's probably the reasonable way to go from progressive rock into that. And I've got a few artists that I'm going to do a deep dive into. But all that to say is the subgenre of jazz that I found myself really, really enjoying is cool jazz. So, Miles Davis and Coltrane Third Period have that kind of as their label. But for me, just one of the artists that I listen to more and more, and I'm like, yep, that ties my shoelaces, that buttons my shirt, that verbs my noun, is Bill Evans. And I've got Spring Leaves here, which is actually a double LP of two of his albums. It's what is it? Explorations and Portraits of Jazz, I believe. I think it's within the gatefold itself. So there you go. There's man himself. You've got the little write up here, but it will say side 1 and 2 originally issued as Portraits in Jazz, and side 3 and 4 as Explorations. Fantastic. It's just really cool, calming piano. Bill Evans can play in such a way that really evokes a lot of imagery in your mind. So I'm thinking of, walking in Central Park with loved ones in hand, loved ones, someone special beside you, crunching on those, orange and yellow leaves. Or, tucked away inside on a cozy evening. It's raining, it's stormy out there, but you're inside making some nice pasta or spaghetti or something. Have this on while you're crushing your garlic. It's just lovely. And I realize there's, Christmas stuff here. Christmas bro right over there. I get it. It's weird to be talking about the fall, but we're coming to that time where we're going to be leaving the fall soon. So I want to kind of look back at what I have been listening to. Winter will have its own video, and I think we'll keep up with the seasons, go through that. But for me, those are the 5 albums that represent the fall, and I'd love to hear what you've got too. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.